I think it's a really good pick for a couple of reasons. I mean, take out the political part of it. I think that we are in dire need in this country of a debate about faith. And these are two vice presidential nominees who are both deeply faithful
you're
people.
At the front of that parade, too.
Yeah. No, who are deeply faithful people, one from an evangelical Catholic,
right.
The other one from a social justice Catholic, having a conversation about faith in entirely different ways. One about openness and tolerance, the other about rules and judgment. And I think too often in this country, the faith in one is co-opted. And I think Tim Kaine can make that argument very well.
So that will be the vice presidential debate, perhaps.
Well, if we're allowed to get into it, I think the vice presidential debate could be the most substantive debate we've seen in a long time.
Okay.
From those two
I think Matthew's right. I think it is time for a conversation in this country about faith and about how it fits and what is the role of faith in public life and in the lives of elected officials. And I think that, it could be a very interesting conversation. I'm not sure that the campaigns necessarily want the candidates to go there, but if they did, it would make for a much more enlightening and probably a far more interesting conversation than the one we're headed for.
My impression from people I talk to is that he has become very likable. People who have responded to the rollout of him like him.
Yeah.
Well, and also is her reaction to it. Watch her body motions. She actually looks more comfortable and at peace and in the moment and joyful than she is when she appears with her husband. I mean, she has that there's this calmness to her that I haven't seen until he showed up on the stage.
I assume that was the critical thing for her.
Yeah.
She felt comfortable with him, and he could step into the job if necessary.
And if you talk to people who have been through these decisions before and who have been around them like Matthew has, the most important thing that you want from a vice presidential nominee is comfort. I mean, if you're think back to 1992, you're a young, relatively inexperienced governor from Arkansas. You never really spent any time in Washington. Why would you double down on inexperience by going with Al Gore? And the answer is because he felt a kinship and a comfort with Al Gore that Hillary seems to feel with Tim Kaine. You could see it, and I think many people did on that stage that day. She was delighted. It was like she was, the person that you want to see all the time. And I think she's becoming a better candidate. I think Tim Kaine is going to make her more comfortable.
And every vice presidential pick, to pick up on what Steve has said, every vice presidential pick that's been a mistake, it's when they go against that, and they go for the Sarah Palin pick. It was not somebody that John McCain was interlocked with. The Dan Quayle
Hardly
pick.
knew him.
It didn't fit right, and then it showed.
McCain wanted Lieberman, and if McCain had gone with Lieberman, it would have been a different race. He would have been a lot more comfortable. He would have been a far better candidate. But
the party told him you can't come.
Party and all
he should have fought the party.
He should have fought the party. Joe Biden has been a very good choice for Barack Obama.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. I think exactly the same thing.
They were comfortable together. They were friends in the Senate. He actually did, I think, give Barack Obama a foreign policy credential by virtue of his service on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee that Obama didn't have. But at the end of the day, it was a decision that was based on comfort and trust, and it made Obama a better candidate, too.
What happens between the end of the conventions, the end of July, and Labor Day, when the campaign really kicks off? What can happen in that period?
Well, a lot of people assume, it's just going to go dark and everything will go behind. I think it's not. I think it's going to be an intense period. I think that's going to be the biggest vetting period of the entire campaign. Because once you get to Labor Day, it starts to get on a roll. Then there's debates, and you get all involved in this. I think August is a vetting period. I think there's still a vetting that needs to be done on the Republican side of Donald Trump and Mike Pence in the course of it. That's not been fully done. And I think there's going to be some vetting on Tim Kaine and Hillary Clinton in the course of that. To me, August is going to be nasty, but it's going to be a serious vetting of these candidates.
Here's what I think is interesting about this cycle. It's different than any other cycle that we've witnessed so far. So one of the reasons that it usually goes dead or dormant between the conventions in September is because that's when the campaigns reload the money. It used to be that they would get their federal matching funds and they didn't want to spend anything until Labor Day. Donald Trump's campaign is a $50 million campaign run on Twitter every single day based on whatever he sort of sees. And he's not going to stop that or slow that down.
Okay, but he's not. But does he need the party, and does he need a lot more money
in
the individual states to get out the vote and do all the things that a party does for you?
He does need that. He needs it desperately, and there's no evidence so far that the party is raising the kind of money that they either raised before or for Mitt Romney or that they will need to raise to be competitive. It's going to be interesting to see the effect of these polls because, a national poll is sort of a leading indicator. He floats up. If he holds that, I think you're going to see him raise some money. If he doesn't hold it, if he falls back down, I think you won't see him raise very very much.
I think we have not seen the Goldilocks campaign in the course of this, which is the just right campaign. I think Hillary Clinton's campaign is way too bureaucratic, way too big. It's 800 or 900 staff. It's way too big. We ran a campaign in 2004 and 2000 with about 220 people, and it was fine. It was a perfect amount of people. Donald Trump's, I think, right now 80. He needs a bigger effort than that, and more organized effort than that, and more professionalized organized effort than that. But he doesn't need to have 800 paid staff. And I think that's ultimately going to be a problem for both of them. One is a huge tanker ship, and the other was a Somali pirate with just a few guys on the boats, and both of them are problematic.
Great to have you. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.